RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief. The answer to your question is learn the goddamn process, trade your trading plans, don't take too much risk on any one trade, and just let yourself get rich.
All right, welcome back everyone to another welcome back to another episode of the Rational Investor here. As you can see, I don't have a camera today again. Now the question is, why don't I have a camera today? You'll probably see some black bars at the bottom and top of my screen. My monitor that I normally use to present these shows to you guys died the other day, and I haven't gotten a new monitor yet. So I'm running this from my laptop, and the laptop screen is not a 1920 by 1080p. It's a different resolution. So because of that, there's these little black bars. Hopefully it doesn't bother you guys too much. Shouldn't stop us from having a great show. One of the things I wanted to touch on is that, Taiwan and China are at it again. So we're seeing some news about Taiwan being threatened by China, and people concerned that this is going to escalate. So I would definitely consider checking out global press and kind of following this to see what is going on with. They seem to do a good job of reporting about what's going on in the world with these different global powers kind of fighting with each other. As far as other news and reporting, the big thing that came out today was pending home sales are down by 7.7%. That's massive. We haven't seen a drop like that in a very long time. You can see these numbers can vary widely. Like January 26th, it was up by 8.3%. It's been up all the other times except this time where it's way down. Also, good trades balance was way off. So a few strange metrics coming in, although the market kind of has been taking this in stride. And you can see that even that news coming out didn't cause any extreme fluctuations. It's not like Powell speaking. It's kind of just staying in this zone, although we did have a bit of a pullback, but it's not a surprise considering we had a 9 come in and we're pulling back from that 9, creating the pause. I talked about this last week, so none of this should be really a surprise for everyone who's been following along, that we were expected to get a extended pause or a pullback. Well, here we have the pullback and the breakdown. The question now is, do we get a continued pullback, or is that it and then we move higher once again? That's the main question. It does look like we've had an M top and downside objective, although again chaos levels don't work so well on the downside. It's about 5,000. We could also say, like, if this is your range, right? So then this is the range you can expect us to go to. 5,000, basically 5,100 to 4,950 would be the range I would be looking for a pullback. Obviously this would immensely damage a weekly time frame. You can see already we've got the major divergence coming in, so that is also concerning. And this could turn into a very, very big thing very quickly if they don't push it higher. So just be cautious. Don't all in anything. I think you need to. This is the time when you start taking profits on anything you bought back here. This is when you want to consider taking those profits, because the market is looking like it could roll over. If we look at a 4-hour time frame, still kind of a bit in the downtrend. Possible that we could form a W and bounce here and move higher. There is that possibility. To be perfectly honest, I don't have the best read on the market right now. I haven't really been trading. I think it's in a extremely confusing spot, and I'm kind of waiting on the sidelines. I did have some small shorts on, and I'm still in those shorts, but for the most part I'm on the sidelines because I don't like how it's looking here. And generally when you have RSI sitting at the VIP level, the market will range, and that's where we are. We're sitting right at the VIP level. If we come down here into the red, we're going to roll over and we'll pull back. You see how we rolled over from the VIP zone right here before in April 2024, and then we got our first big pullback. We're in the red basically, and that's when we really rolled over. And then the 878 came in, and then we bounced. Not really too big of a pullback if we look at it in comparison to all of the massive rallies that have occurred. Let's check max pain really quick. What would be max pain here would be 5,225, but from visually from looking at this, it looks like max pain could be around 5,300 or so. And right now we are at 5,250. So if they want to hit that max pain level, I could see the market rallying from here to try to get to that level. And that's exactly what it looks like it's trying to do. It's trying to put in that W and bounce off this trend heuristic channel, which is my moving average. And if we can get above that, then we'll move up. If we can't, then obviously we roll over. I mean, what else could happen? So chaos is pointing to, if this W can confirm, a move up to 5,300, and that opens the doors to us possibly rallying even higher up to my 5,500 target that I've talked about in previous shows based on, again, this W, right? There's your chaos target at 5,500. This is essentially a 2.618 pause level right here where it's makes perfect sense. We tag this 2.618, went a little bit further to the 3, and then we're having our pullback. Very normal when you hit these big numbers. That's why I have them in yellow. Normally 1.618 symbolizes a pause as well. So 1.618 and 2.618 are the major pauses where the market oscillates, tries to liquidate as many traders as possible before finally consolidating and moving higher to that 4.669 final target. So that's what I'm looking at. I am leaning towards this is just a pullback to wash people out, and then we're going to bounce and hit that 4.669 level. I mean, if we do like a small baby ABCD, right? And this is your pullback level. It basically sends us right up to that 5,500. Nice little ABCD to complete the move here. That's what I'm seeing on the S&P. And going into tomorrow, I could see a bounce. Market's looking like the market is looking like it wants to bounce higher. So I would not try to stand in the way of this. And going into tomorrow, we could go all the way up to 5,300. There's my view on the S&P. Certain things like Alibaba that I think Brian has talked about and touted broke out quite a while ago. They've been consolidating. The target is about 100. I like the pullback I'm seeing here. This could be a possible. Let me get rid of this, by the way, on the lower time frames. It looks like we kind of try to take out the lows and we're bouncing off this midpoint. This isn't a bad area to take a trade and target this higher zone up here at 100, exactly 100. That's the target. So this could be your trade, right? Like this. You just long right now, set your stop right below these lows over here, get below the gap fill, and you set your target right up here. Maybe take profit. I would take profit a little bit earlier, like 99 right before 100, and you get a 3-to-1 risk reward. Not a bad trade. I mean, you can set a tighter stop, right, and get a 5-to-1. There's a chance you might get stopped out, but not a bad trade to make 25%. It looks pretty good overall to me. I mean, and we have on a weekly chart, we're above. If there was a VIP level here, we would be above it. On the daily, we're above it. We just came back to test the midpoint, and it looks like it's trying to turn around and put in some kind of bounce, very similar to what we're seeing on the S&P. So I think if the S&P can get that move higher, there's no reason that Alibaba shouldn't join. So anybody that missed the original trade, this might be a decent area to maybe hop on and ride the wave up to 100. Although set your sell at $99, maybe $99.95 or something, just in case it just misses that level. I usually like to look at Boeing, so maybe, or you know what? Let's look at Tesla. So Tesla had a big pullback, right? And it's been kind of consolidating in this zone. They recently have been talking about their Optimus robot a lot, which I mentioned on the show before, that I think Tesla is going to pivot. You see Tesla came into my buy zone right here, by the way, 140 back in April. I think Tesla is going to pivot from electric cars to robots, and I think they're going to try to make a lot of money on those robots, basically selling them to major companies as a way to replace their current workers and sell them based on an hourly wage. They'll say, okay, you can rent this Tesla worker for $4 to $5 an hour, and instead of and it doesn't need a break or anything. It'll work the straight hours, do exactly what you tell it to do. Unlike an employee, where the employee will, especially in America, where the employees need like $20 an hour now, $15 to $20 an hour. I think most companies will test this technology, and if it works the way it's promised to work, a lot of them will start replacing their workers with these robots, and I think it'll be a huge boon to Tesla stock. Painful for anybody that's working those jobs, but I think it will massively help with Tesla's bottom line, and it looks like it's consolidating in possible anticipation of that. So not a bad area to consider Tesla. Although in the face of what's going on geopolitically, I'm a little bit concerned about massively longing things like this. But on a daily chart, I mean, this looks great. This looks like it's just consolidating before it pushes higher. How high will it go? I don't think that high, not for a while. I think it's going to be held down. You can expect maybe 240 or so, which is, how much of a return is that? Let me see here. 240. Stop below these lows, right? Just below this range. I actually would prefer to put my stop here in case we fill this gap, but I'd rather get stopped out and then consider re-entering the trade. So 238 is about here. So a 7-to-1 risk reward, as long as you set kind of a tight stop. Like I said, I'm okay getting stopped out, letting this gap then fill, and then resetting the trade from down here with my stop below these lows. So there's a nice little trade on Tesla, 30% return. Very real possibility that could happen, just push right through the 200-day moving average and maybe come back under it after that, following the S&P rallying to 5,500 basically. NVIDIA, I think a lot of people have been talking about and looking at NVIDIA. They had their huge earnings, massive pump, and it just keeps going higher nonstop. However, possible divergence here. Price is higher, RSI is not. It's not confirmed yet, but I don't like how this is looking. I would consider maybe taking some profits if I'm long, but at the same time, I don't see any issues with this. There's no breakdown on the weekly. It's still pushing higher. I want to see a breakdown for this uptrend before I can start recommending any shorts. I still can't recommend a short on this name. It looks strong as far as a weekly chart is confirmed. I would wait on the sidelines, and I do think NVIDIA is, to a degree, carrying the stock market. They need NVIDIA to push higher in order for the rest of the market to go higher. And if you guys are saying anything, actually, let me pull up YouTube on my phone, because like I said, I only have one screen. Normally I'm looking at my second screen, what you guys are saying. Let me pull up YouTube on my second phone so I can see your comments. Not on my second phone, on my phone. Hashtag not financial advice. Yes. Oh, you guys are going crazy. Where's my daily dose of market? If I can't trade, and if I can't trade. Okay, hello Gills. Hello Omar. Brian said, hello Brian. Brian's here. I need the max pain. Okay, so somebody is long the S&P. Okay, so now I can see your comments on my phone. So I will stay in touch with you guys. I'm not short selling NVIDIA. I'm not touching it. Did that before. Learned my lesson the hard way. I will not be making that same mistake. I'm going to be very, very patient and wait until the time is right. And as of right now, it's not right. Not the right time at all. AMC, I'm also watching, little meme stock. I think a lot of people are watching this. Still possibility that AMC could move higher, but if it pulls back even a little bit more, I would say that possibility is basically over. You could even see here, right here in the last 2 days, this breakdown has kind of put the nail in the coffin for AMC. I don't like the way it's looking here. I would like to see some kind of W and reversal, but I mean, on this 4-hour chart, this looks like a disaster. At least we're still above the VIP line, but I don't like how AMC is looking. I think the public has kind of lost interest. And if we look at GME, it's kind of probably the same. Yeah, it's just GME actually looks better. It's just sitting here consolidating. It could even W out, but there's nothing really huge here. Actually, GME is not bad on like a lower time frame. Doesn't look terrible. You could get some kind of push higher. It could happen to fill these gaps up here. This one was filled, but there's a gap here that was not filled at 38. So possibility, but I wouldn't bet the farm on it. Another sort of meme type thing that surged at that time was Tupperware. Tupperware is something we made significant profits on in the past. And it looks like it surged only to pull back and consolidate. And it's possible that we could get another move higher. So something like right like this. And then like that. And you get your move up to like $3. I don't see why that couldn't happen. Weekly chart looks decent. You know. If I go to, let's go to a monthly chart. Let's see what this looks like on a monthly chart. So on a monthly chart, this looks kind of just like a consolidation at the bottom of a range. Right here, right? So there's your, this is almost like your W. Right, so then you just got to complete the W. So if that's the W, and trust me, this is a long shot here, but if this is the W, then Tupperware could go to $23. That is, how much of a percent return would that be if you went long right here? Oops, right there, right at the current price. Set a stop below the lows. A target up here, which lines up with the 200-week moving average. Let's go to a weekly chart and look at the weekly moving average. That lines up with 2.618. Even if you just go to 2.618, you're looking at a 600% return. It's not a crypto coin, but it's not bad. I mean, it's the same level we were at back in 2022, just 2 years ago. And if you go to 4.669, you're looking at 1,300%. Not bad. It's not a bad name to like maybe bet a little bit on and hope for that 500, 600% return. Just consider it like another shit coin, meme coin. But it looks decent here. It really does. I don't hate it. We had the first push, and now maybe we get the second push. See how we had that 7-8 come in? And RSI is looking like it's curving up. Got that cross, and now I can move up. It's maybe $3. This is like a short-term target. Just take out these previous highs and go up to $2.95, $3, that area. So that's what I'm looking at with Tupperware. Possibility, long shot. I'm not saying bet the farm on this one. Just nanny nibbles. Could be a decent little trade. How far into this are we? Let's see here. Okay, I've been going about 20 minutes, so we'll spend the next 10 minutes or so looking at crypto. I know you guys love crypto. Well, maybe we'll touch base on gold. Let's touch base on gold first. So gold on a weekly chart actually broke down. I believe it did break down. Maybe I spoke too soon. Wait a second. Okay, so it's it did break down, but we're still in the green zone, and it's not a convincing breakdown. We're still holding my trend heuristic channel, so I'm not going to jump on the short side massively. I think I'm basically neutral on gold here. You can see it did hit my short zone. Why is this not loading? Okay, hit my short zone right here, and also here, just barely. So that area is being respected. See something here. Cancel that. Okay. So it looks like it's trying to kind of W. If you look here on this daily and push higher, there is a possibility it can have one more push higher. But I think a lot of the gold move is potentially already over. If we assume there is one more push higher, how do we know what that level would be? And we can say, since there's no clear W here, we can say that this is like a consolidation range, and this is your like conservative range, and we could target 2,600. We could say that that would be your next level, with 2,600 or 2,500 being basically the first stop, and the second stop being 2,600. So if you're a gold bull, that's what you can look for. I think there's a lot better things to invest in. I think the upside is limited here. I mean, if we, let's say you bought here, right? Let's say it goes all the way to 2,600. It's just like 12%. Obviously, you can leverage trade it and make a lot more. And if you're into that, you can do it. But I think there are better trades. I talked about silver multiple times. I think last week silver almost hit my target, which was up here at 36. We can see how silver had a massive push higher, and now on this daily chart, it doesn't look good at all. It looks almost like it's emming out, and it could pull back to like 22, back to this major support level right here at $25. 25, I would say around 25, $26 rather than 22. I think 22 is too low, but it doesn't. It doesn't look great here. I wouldn't be getting rah-rah bullish about silver. Look at that. One other thing, natural gas. So natural gas had a big push up, and then it hit that 7 and just rejected. It hit a 789 actually before and just kept going higher, and then it instantly rejected. For me, it's still in an uptrend. I have a long on natural gas. I'm still holding. If this breaks this RSI uptrend right here, then I will exit the position. But for now, I am holding it. And I don't see why we couldn't get a push higher to fill this gap up here at around 24.25 that I see on UNG. So I know that UNG is kind of not the direct natural gas futures, and it's just trading as a ETF version in a way. But I think this could. I mean, let's look at natural gas. Let's look at actually the futures. Let's see what those look like. Yeah, see, this doesn't have as much decay. It doesn't look as bad. Where did we hit as far as this consolidation range? If this is your consolidation range, we actually hit the level already. You see something here. 1.618 was respected, 2.618 was semi-respected, and then we basically hit the 4.669 level. Yeah, I mean, you could put it here and say we didn't, but I would kind of put it here and say we did. So it makes sense we rejected off that zone. We had our full extension target, so it either we get a pullback here or it consolidates and we possibly get a move higher. And if this is your consolidation range here, let's say it doesn't go lower than 200. If this is your consolidation range, then you're just setting up for the next move, which is up to 340. But how high is that compared to anywhere before? That would be impressive if it gets up to there. That would be truly impressive if it could move up that much. We've hit a 7-8 on the weekly, and we also hit, we hit that trend line. I think it makes a lot of sense that it's rejecting here. Could get a major rejection and pull back all the way down here to 175. Interesting to see that it only went up to here. I wouldn't consider any new longs here. I would wait for some kind of consolidation on the other side, and on these lower time frames, especially on maybe like an 8-hour, 12-hour. See where do we kind of get some kind of W? Like, does RSI give us something? It actually looks like it is here even. So if you get a push up above the other side of this trend line, I think you could consider a long or a move higher. What just happened there? Why did it get rid of? It got rid of my. Okay. Okay, there, much better. Now I have my. So if this is your. Okay, so this would be the push higher to like 344. I think that's, I do think that's extreme. I'm going to set an alert at that level, though, just in case. All right. All right, let's get to crypto. I think you guys don't care that much about natural gas. For crypto, there's a lot of names that pulled back and are holding in certain areas, but don't look great in other areas. Well, for example, Rune, on a daily chart, Rune doesn't look so hot. It looks like it already broke down. Even if I draw the trend line like this, it still kind of broke down, and it looks like it's making almost an M top. But at the same time, crypto is tricky, and you can't always trust daily charts. They often will deceive. The problem I have is that this weekly is right at that midpoint where a range normally happens. This is exactly what we're supposed to see. But at the same time, we're only hitting our 1.618 level from our original. If I can get it to load. What is happening here? Yeah, so the original W breakout was here. And we're only just hitting the 1.618. Our 2.618 is at $8, and our 4.669 is all the way at 11. So this has a lot more steam, and it really should not peter out here. That would be a huge warning sign to the rest of the market if it petered out here. You can see how this range kind of lines up with that next 4.669 if I go all the way. If I make it more conservative, then it ends up at about 970. But for now, I would say it's more of a consolidation than a breakdown, although RSI doesn't look great. So I guess I say that to tell you to be cautious with longs, again, because our market is very unclear here. And if we look at Bitcoin as well, oops, just dropped something. If we look at Bitcoin, right, on the weekly, we're still in the green. Looking good. Looks like we're just consolidating, which it should have after hitting the 16.88. By the way, my next level is 115,000. And if this is our range, our 4.669 points to that exact same level. And you can see how these levels have been well respected, right? Pause here at 37. Didn't really get a pullback, but we got a pause. Then we tagged 49,000, paused again. Then we had our big push up to 75,000. And the next level is, 115,000. That's where we end up. Nice kind of double from here. There's no real breakdown yet on this weekly chart. Looks like things are just moving higher. There was a breakdown there, but we're still in the green, right? So we go to a daily. Let me get rid of some of these lines, clean it up for you guys. Okay. On a daily chart, we did pull back for a while. Then we had the bounce on the other side. And now we had a breakdown again, which always concerns me. But again, we're stuck at that midpoint, same like the weekly chart. Well, actually, the weekly chart is positive. See the 70. So the bias has to be to the upside. And right now, I think Bitcoin is doing its best to scare out any longs. I do believe that's what it's trying to do. And I think before we get any significant move higher, we do need to kind of flush out as many longs as possible. I think they did it a bit here. And now we're kind of getting that W consolidation. But I think we'll see a mini version of that where maybe we get a plunge down to like 64,000 quickly and then the reversal. If you see a quick plunge and within like 1 hour or two you get that huge reversal, that's your sign that we're going to take off. Like it's a classic crypto move to liquidate all the longs right before takeoff. Classic, absolute classic move that even I've been destroyed by a couple times. And it's also why using leverage in crypto is very dangerous, because they literally go after that leverage. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. Those are my thoughts on it. I'm leaning long. I feel like this is a consolidation. I want to see a liquidation wick down to like 65 just to take out the last 2 weeks of price action, and then the move higher. And I guess the question is, where would the first move go to? And we can assume that my little line drawings are pointing to around 77, 80,000 level. I talked about Rune. I have a couple other coins. We're at about 30 minutes. So I think what I will do is I'll look at the total. You can, by the way, see global liquidity is kind of just staying standard. There's really no change, which explains why a lot of markets and things like Bitcoin has also done nothing. So that's something to keep in mind. I'm going to talk about Myro and Tau in the Afterparty. Really quick, we can look at the total. Sometimes it gives better signals than actually Bitcoin. Yeah, we're just in this consolidation still. Weekly hasn't broken down enough to get bearish. See, by the way, see that 7 and 8 that came in on the weekly, and we just paused there. Also the daily, and then here again on the daily, we had that push higher. 7 and 8 came in, but really no breakdown on the daily. This is still an uptrend, very clear, intact uptrend. See, we did do kind of a liquidation pullback yesterday. If we look at all the other coins and we don't just look at Bitcoin, I think actually other coins. So Bitcoin pulled back, but not that much. But if we look at coins like Rune, see that pullback? That was a big like liquidation wick to take out a lot of longs. We need to see this uptrend line hold. I would be concerned if it doesn't hold and we get a breakdown. That would be one thing to point out. Yeah, so total's holding. Weekly is strong. Daily looks good. I would be hunting longs on lower time frames. I think that's your best bet. On the 1 hour, I mean, you might get a pullback here, and then you can go back to try and hunt longs as long as we don't break these lows. You want to make sure that we stay above these lows. If we go below those, then you're gonna start running into issues. All right, well, that's kind of all I've got on crypto for now. I have a lot of individual names I want to go over. We will go over them in the after party. For anybody that is public and watching, consider joining a free trial of TRI. We do after parties every day, where we kind of review your specific picks and go into a lot of detail that we don't go through on these public live streams. It doesn't cost anything to sign up, free trial. So consider it. For anybody that's a member, thank you for watching. And I will see you in the after party in a couple minutes. All right. Bye, guys.